happy travelers, welcome back to my channel. If you are new here, my name's Kelly and I am a flight attendant for a major US airline. I asked a question a few days ago on my YouTube channel about what you'd want to know about someone who was in a relationship with or married to a flight attendant, and you guys really came through. You had a lot of good questions. So I have a special guest on today's video. This is my husband, Kevin.
Hey!
In case you're wondering where we are, we're coming to you from Vienna, Austria, where we will be visiting some Christmas markets later on today, hence the festive get-up here.
We're here in Vienna filming those Christmas markets for our other channel, The Awkward Tourists. If you haven't checked that out yet, we'll go ahead and link it up on the screen here so you can give it a look.
Just a real quick background about us. Like I said, we are married. We have been married since 2019, so that's 4 years, and we've been together for 10 years. Everything else will come out in the questions. Oh, so I have a nice big old list of questions here, and I'm going to try to refrain from adding my 2 cents as much as possible, so this will hopefully be nearly as pure an interview with Kevin as is possible.
She'll still add her 2 cents.
I definitely will still do that. It's not possible for me to shut up. I'm interested to see your answer to them.
Okay, I'm ready.
Okay, number 1. These are in no particular order. Does my schedule as a flight attendant make it hard to plan out special nights and activities, especially secret and or surprise dates?
Yeah, it definitely does. So secret and surprise dates are super tricky just because her schedule's all over the place. And when she has time off, usually we do stuff like come to Vienna and go to Christmas markets with the travel benefits that she has. So there isn't a lot of time that we are actually at home together, that we aren't working editing YouTube videos, or I am working another job or something like that. So it is definitely difficult to plan date nights. And we probably both need to be a little bit better at like going to the movies and taking a night out. But yeah, it's a little tricky with the crazy schedule.
Yeah, sometimes when you are at dinner in Vienna, Austria, it can feel like date night, even though we have to go out to dinner for that.
In a way, we save a lot of our money and our date nights for when we are traveling somewhere crazy like Vienna.
I would like more surprise date nights at home.
Yeah.
Is that a thing that people do? Secret date?
Yeah, I don't know about secret dates all that much, but yeah, okay. Well, I'm taking notes. I'll write that down.
Good idea, guys.
Hey, did you write these yourself, or are these actually from...
Okay, number 2, do my flight benefits make it harder or easier to plan secret or surprise getaways?
I don't think we've ever done a secret getaway, other than like, hey, we're gonna go for a drive today to somewhere, and I'm not gonna tell you where it is. As far as trips, Kelly has to book all the travel. Like, she has the travel portal, she is in charge of the flights, that's all her deal. So like, I've never been able to do like a secret trip away. I probably could if I wanted to pay for an airline ticket, but when your wife's a flight attendant, you try to avoid doing that as much as possible.
Who wants to do that?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's against company policy and a safety security thing. Like, I'm not allowed to give out my travel benefit information because there's a lot of sensitive information in that portal. Let's just say that.
Yeah, and I honestly couldn't even read it anyways. I've like looked over her shoulder before to be like, oh, what are the flights looking like? And it doesn't make any sense to somebody that's not trained. So yeah.
Is it hard to find places for a quick getaway that I haven't already been to on layovers?
No, not really. Well, I'm not sure. Yes and no, I suppose. Whenever we go somewhere, we both always want to go back. Like, there's maybe 1 or 2 places we've ever been that we're like, yeah, I don't really need to go back there. But everywhere else is like, oh, that was great, but we didn't see this and this and this and this, so we have to go back.
And also, 85% of the time, maybe even 90% of the time, I don't even leave the hotel room because it's work for me.
Yeah.
And the layovers are short and we're by the airport. It's
Yeah.
not like I don't have a vacation there.
And when you've been flying all day, you don't really want to go out and do a ton. You usually just want to like chill in your room and go to sleep. So.
Yeah, I'm not spending multiple days exploring and having grand time, as you guys have seen if you watch this channel. Do my layovers ever influence us going or not going to a place because I think we would like it or not like it? Do I ever come home and I'm like, we definitely have to go there, or no, we definitely should stay away from this place?
I think once you said it would be really cool to go explore Austin, but we still haven't been there.
I think we both generally have the same views of, at least domestically, what cities we'd like to explore. And
Yeah, I mean, we did just go to Kauai, and Kelly loves her Hawaii layovers, but I don't really think it has much of an impact on where we travel to. A lot of times we try to use the flight benefits to go somewhere international. Kelly doesn't really fly international, so.
all right. Do you ever take solo trips to places you want to go while I am working and cannot go?
Once or twice. So I like to snowboard. Before Kelly and I met, I lived in Colorado at a ski resort and worked at the ski resort. Kelly doesn't really like the snow and being cold, so if I want to go snowboarding, I'll go do that by myself. So there's been a few times where I've gone snowboarding when you've been working, but that's pretty much it. Oh, I've also gone and visited my parents sometimes when she's been working, back in Buffalo, New York, but
Yeah, mostly it'll just be for both of us to go visit family or friends. I've taken a 1 or 2 night trip on my own just to get away.
Yeah.
But mostly it's just to visit family or friends.
yeah, you did
without
it.
the other one.
You did a New York City trip once when I was working.
Yeah.
Yeah, but other than that, not so much.
Has my schedule ever caused problems in our relationship, i.e., too much time away, missing important events, stuff like that?
No, I don't think it has. Like I said before we met, I worked at a ski resort, and I've worked at resorts and places like that pretty much my whole life. So I'm used to working on holidays. So coming into this job, Kelly usually works on holidays. Still do it occasionally, but I used to be a server at a restaurant, and usually when you're a server at a restaurant, you have to work holidays as well because those are just the busiest days. So we've kind of gone into this whole relationship being like, hey, we might not be able to celebrate holidays the same way we would normally, but that's been fine because we both kind of understand that this is the life we've chosen, and if we are both working on Christmas, then we celebrate the day after Christmas or the day before Christmas, and that's not a huge deal for us.
Yeah, I mean, I love holidays and everything, and I much prefer to celebrate it on the day, but if we can't, then it's not really that big of a deal. I'm not too worried about it.
Like Thanksgiving's coming up, we're both working on Thanksgiving. I'm working at the restaurant I work at, Kelly's going to be flying, and that's totally fine.
Yeah, we'll do it some other day with my family or
Yeah.
whatever.
No big deal. I think for the flight benefits and this lifestyle, it's good trade-off for us. Maybe if we had a bigger family and it was a big deal to get all together, it would be different, but
Yeah, or if we had kids whose birthdays we have to be there for.
Yeah, that'd be the same kind of thing. And my birthday is the day after Christmas, so it's kind of always been overshadowed by Christmas just because that's the way it is. And that's not a big deal. It doesn't matter to me. It's kind of just the way that I've grown up and the only thing I know. So, like, my birthday's just never really been a big deal, and that's fine.
I think your birthday's a big deal.
Yeah, but if she has to work on my birthday, no big deal. I don't get upset about that.
And he really doesn't, just so you know.
No.
How do you deal with me getting up at all hours for early morning trips?
I deal with it fine. How do you deal with it?
Yeah, you deal with it better than I do.
Yeah, I mean, I just go back to sleep, and
She's like, bye.
she gets ready, she gives me a kiss goodbye, I fall back asleep, and that's, fine.
Yeah.
Or if she gets home really late, sometimes I will stay up late and wait for her, or I will just go to bed early.
Earplugs.
Yeah, earplugs work well.
Okay. Do you ever feel bad about using my flight benefits without me?
No. No.
Well, okay, don't mince words, Kevin.
I mean, she has to book the flight for me, so I hope you're okay with it all the time. It's not like I can just use those benefits without asking her or anything, so she always, knows when I'm like, hey, I want to go snowboarding with some friends this weekend. Could you fly me to Lake Tahoe, and usually that's fine, so.
Yeah, maybe if you were like, I'm going to go to a beach resort in the Caribbean by myself, I might be upset about that, but that doesn't happen, so.
Yeah, I mean, normally it's going places that she doesn't really care too much about. I'm like, oh, I want to go to Buffalo in January when it's 5 degrees outside. She's like, yeah, that's fine. You can go. I'm going to stay here. Like, I got to work. So, like, yeah, it's not a big deal.
I'd like to go to the mountain places you go to snowboarding, but he's snowboarding the whole time, and I really don't. I mean, I might go one day, but I am like a beginner bunny slope person, so
yeah,
I would just hold him back, and he would usually go with his friends. So How do you stay busy while I'm gone on trips?
How do I stay busy?
Yeah, that's a question.
I have a job. I edit all the YouTube videos for this channel and the Awkward Tourist, and then I have another channel that I'm trying to monetize too, so lots of photo video work. I serve in a restaurant sometimes. I exercise, surf, mountain bike, go to the gym.
Take care of our 2 cats.
Yeah, I mean, don't take this the wrong way, but life goes on without you when you're gone.
What was the hardest part to adjust to at first while I was on trips?
So when we first started dating, we met in Alaska. We were both working seasonally, and then we went straight into long distance for pretty much a year. And either Kelly would fly to Colorado where I was still living, or I would fly to California, or we would both fly to somewhere and go on vacation together.
Part of that even was before I was a flight attendant, so we bought flights back and forth.
Yeah, so we would be away from each other for, weeks at a time. When we moved in together and she was gone for a couple days, it wasn't really that big of an adjustment for me. We were kind of already used to spending a little bit of time apart, and I don't think it's put any strain on our relationship. Maybe if we had lived together for years and we had spent every night together and had dinner together every night and, had a bit more of a routine, it would have been a bit more of an adjustment. But because we kind of started our relationship out and she got that job as a flight attendant shortly after, it wasn't a big deal.
I got the job as we were kind of beginning our relationship.
And also, we started our relationship traveling. Like, we were doing seasonal work so we could live in Alaska and travel around Alaska. So we already bonded over our love of travel. And then she became a flight attendant and we're like, wow, this is amazing. We can travel even more.
It might be different if I worked a lot more and was gone like 25 days a month or something, but I work low time, so we have plenty of time together.
Yeah, she usually does about half the days of the month that she's working.
A 2-day trip, I'll be gone for maybe 30 hours.
I'll see her in the morning, she'll be gone that night, and then she's back by dinner the next night.
Yeah.
So it's not that big of a
Not
deal.
gone for weeks at a time.
No.
And to that end, I guess this is kind of a part 2. Do you find it hard to be separated, or is it good to have time apart?
I think it's good to have time apart,
How dare you?
I usually use the opportunity when she's gone to, mop all the floors in our house, just because it's easier to move the furniture around and, clean up everything. We have 2 cats, and they make things very dirty. So I kind of get chores done. Yeah, it's not bad. And like we just said, she's not gone for that long. We have a small opportunity to miss each other, and then she's back. I think she enjoys having a hotel room all to herself too, that's nice and clean and she can spread out. And
I enjoy it when I'm at home and he's at work too. We like our time by ourselves. We don't get a ton of it.
Yeah.
We're in Europe for 10 days and we're with each other 24/7.
Yep.
So to have a little bit of time apart, I think is good.
And we do that at home too. We have our first cup of coffee in separate rooms every morning that we're home. Own time to kind of wake up, and then, we go have breakfast together.
How challenging has it been as a couple for my wages to be stagnant and not keep up with inflation? Good on you, whoever asked that, for recognizing the struggle.
I don't think it's really been a stressor in our relationship. We have other income sources other than the flight attendant job.
Like this channel. Thanks for watching.
Yeah, absolutely. Thanks for watching. Go watch all the other videos because we make some money off of it. So it's not just dependent on Kelly working her hourly job.
To that end, I should work more, but I have a love-hate relationship with a job that it can spike my anxiety if I do it too much and don't get enough sleep. So it's kind of a trade-off, like more anxiety for more money or a little bit less money for a calmer life. But yeah, it has not kept up with inflation. Hopefully that'll change soon. Do you have any interest in working in the airline industry?
Not if she's a flight attendant. No. I think now that we've had the flight benefits, it would be really hard to give those up. If anything ever happened to Kelly's job and she wasn't a flight attendant anymore, I would consider working for an airline to continue those flight benefits, just because the benefits are so awesome. But no, if she's gonna continue being a flight attendant, I don't have any interest in doing it. I don't think there would be any benefit to it. It would just make it harder for our schedules to probably line up.
Probably if you were going to do anything, you would get like a job with a chain hotel or a rental car company. Do you ever go on my flight attendant trips?
I have on a couple of them. I think only 2 that I can think of right now. I went to Kauai once on her layover, which was really awesome because you fly there and she was working the flight, so she said hi to me and brought me snacks and all sorts of stuff, which was awesome. Then We had like 24 hours there, and the hotel was paid for by her company. Great hotel right on the beach. We went surfing and rented a Jeep for a couple hours, went and saw a waterfall, ate a bunch of food, and then flew back. So from LA, that was really easy because it's only one flight. So that was one time. Another time we went to, I think, Charlotte, North Carolina together on one flight.
Raleigh.
Raleigh, Durham. That's where it was. We like went to dinner and a movie in Raleigh, and then I flew back the next day. So yeah, I have done it. It's definitely a novelty. Probably not something that I would do all the time because if there isn't room on the flight, I would be stuck there and have to find my own way home.
Before the pandemic, there were a lot better opportunities for him to do that. You know, like one flight there, good layover, one flight back. Yeah, but now the trips are like fly here, fly here, fly here, fly here. Short layover, fly here, fly here, fly. It would be a lot harder for me to work and to try to non-rev him back because he's not going to fly with me for 3 days on,
No.
eight different flights. That would be silly.
No.
But if there were a good trip, like another Hawaii or something like that,
I'd
and it
probably
worked
do it
out with
again,
his
yeah.
schedule, yeah. How do we deal with trust issues? Because that could be a thing with us being separated for days at a time.
Yeah, we both have complete trust in each other. And if you don't, like, this job's not going to work.
Yeah, that's true.
Just because, like, there is tons of opportunities for somebody to cheat and for the other person to never find out. She's gone for days at a time. She does whatever she wants to do on her layover, and I do whatever I want to do when I'm at home. So, yeah, we have complete trust in each other. So there's never really been an issue about that.
That's important when you either get a job as a flight attendant when you're in a relationship or get a new relationship when you're a flight attendant.
Yeah.
Or start dating a flight attendant.
If I didn't completely trust her and she didn't completely trust me, the job wouldn't work.
Yeah, that'd be a problem.
It'd be way too much stress. So, yeah, if you don't trust your partner, shouldn't get this job.
No.
No.
Mwah. Okay, so those were all of our user-generated questions. I added a couple general ones just that I would like to hear his answers to. What is the best thing about being married to a flight attendant?
The flight benefits, for sure. We get to fly for free
That is
to
true.
Vienna, and yeah, that's definitely the best part about it. If we didn't take advantage of these free flights, the job really wouldn't be worth it.
No.
The crazy schedule and being away all the time only makes sense if you're going to be able to fly for free.
And you have to be okay with the standby life.
Yeah, standby life is not for everybody. You know, if we don't get somewhere, we'll get there tomorrow, or we'll get there the next day, or we'll go somewhere completely different. And you got to be okay with that in your travel plans. And
Yeah.
not a lot of people can do that.
You have to have a plan B and a plan C and a plan D. Although probably like 90% of the time it works out the way we want it to.
Knock on
Or
wood.
better, I know. Okay, what's the worst thing about being married to a flight attendant?
The worst thing about being married to a flight attendant.
Don't just say something for my benefit. Like, actually tell me the real. Don't be like, oh, being away from you.
It's a struggle with the schedule sometimes. Kelly said it a bunch of times before. The job is flexible until it's not. So if you really need to have a certain day off, there's not really any way you can guarantee getting that day off. And it gets tricky at times. And I know she really stresses out about her schedule a lot, especially if we're trying to do a trip and we've made all these plans and maybe booked accommodation and then she can't get the time off anymore. That's really tough. Or the flights are looking super full and we get stranded somewhere. You know, you can kind of roll with the punches to a certain point. The stress can weigh on you too. If we like need to be somewhere and absolutely have to be somewhere for like a wedding or something, we'll either leave like 3 or 4 days early or we'll just buy a ticket because there's really no way to actually know if you're going to get there or not.
We've done that a few times, not too many though. Usually we bake a couple extra days into our trips.
We were going on a cruise a couple years ago. I think this was before we started filming YouTube videos, and we were going with her parents, and Kelly and her mom got stuck and they had to buy a ticket because they were going to miss the cruise. So that stuff kind of happens, and it ended up costing a lot of money, but what are you going to do, you know?
What is your advice to anyone in a new relationship with a flight attendant or a new flight attendant in a relationship?
I think you just have to keep your communication open. You know, it's definitely a different type of relationship. You're going to be away from the other person for a lot of time. You're going to miss some holidays, and that's just the way it is. So as long as the other person is on board and understands, like, hey, we're giving up, being at your family's house for Christmas this year, but we get to go to Vienna and go to Christmas markets in November. Like, that is a trade-off. And as long as the other person is on board with that, it'll work. The other thing is, like we said earlier, you got to have trust.
Yeah, there's really no way to really know what the other person's doing all the time.
No, so you have to trust them.
How hard is it for you to keep up with my schedule, and what do you do to understand or remember it?
It's impossible for me to keep up with her schedule. I try my best to know where she's having her layovers. And
sometimes I don't even know.
Yeah.
This was like not too long ago. He was like, how's Atlanta? And I was like, I'm in Tucson.
My bad. Okay.
I don't know if I told him I was going to be in Atlanta or if he just thought that. I really honestly don't know.
Yeah.
I might have told you that because
yeah,
I was working like 6 days in a row and I had no idea.
I like her to write it on the calendar, so at least I can look and be like, oh, tonight she's here, or whatever. And I try my best to keep up with it, but it's really tough. Her schedule is all over the place, and she changes it too. Like, she'll drop trips and pick up other trips. The schedule she gets at the beginning of the month isn't what it's normally going to be for the entire month. So
yeah, I rarely even have any of the same trips that I get at the beginning.
No.
That's all the questions I have for you today, sir.
Cool.
Like he said, it was a different type of relationship, but we make it work.
I like being married to a flight attendant. The flight benefits are so awesome. We have so much fun traveling around on them. It's definitely an awesome lifestyle.
Yeah, it could be easy to focus on the relationship negatives, like being apart. We choose to
focus on the better stuff.
Yeah, make more fun out of it. And
yeah. Being like, oh, we were able to fly to Vienna because we had the flexibility and the free flights and come and hang out here for a couple days. Not many people can say that. So yeah, we travel an aggressive amount, I like to say. We travel a ton. And it's really fun. We like it a lot. So
yeah.
Well, if you have any other questions for me or for Kelly, throw them in the comments.
And hit thumbs up if you like this video. Thank you so much for watching, guys. We really, really appreciate your support. And until next time, this is Kelly from The Awkward Flight Attendant and Kevin. Peace out.
Okay, you're on.
Oh, we're recording. Okay.
Chris, we'll go ahead and link that to check. We'll go ahead and put a link for that channel. If you haven't checked that out, go ahead and we'll go.
That's why we're married.
We're here in Vienna filming those Tulsa, Arizona, and those are great places, but not really places that you take a lot of vacations to. So.
Where's Tulsa, Arizona?
Oh, not Tulsa, Arizona. Tucson, Arizona. That's what I was going for.
But he's snowboarding. Ugh.
It's the same thing.
What is that noise?
They're doing some construction in the hallway outside.
Why?
I don't know.